Hi all, welcome back to the channel. My name is Monish. This video is something really different from what I normally do, but I really wanted to do it because cricket is something that is so close to my heart. It is something I've grown up with, and I really felt that I need to put my opinion out there, even though it might not count or it might not really make any difference to anyone watching or playing cricket at the moment. But here you go, here's my shot. Firstly, some context. I have never played cricket on a professional level, obviously, and I have never even managed a big organization like the ICC or the BCCI. But the question now is, why does my opinion matter? Let me give you some more context on this. My earliest memories of cricket was me getting off my school bus and trying to get home at the earliest because Sachin Tendulkar was batting. To do that, I used to run through the slums, jump a few walls, and take the shortest route back to my television set. Another memory is me begging my mother to take me to the Brabant Stadium because Sachin was batting again, and all I told her was I just want to see him once, maybe just from a distance, but I promise you it'll just be 10 minutes. I just want to see him and then you can get me back home. My mother used to work in Nariman Point, which is in Bombay, and we used to live in Chembur, and there are certain things that only parents do, and even on a Saturday, on her day off, she took me to Brabant Stadium, begged the police officer to let me in, and I went in all by myself. I was probably 10 years old, and watched Sachin for 10 minutes and walked out. The reason my opinion is important is because I'm one in millions of fans around the world who watch cricket and who make cricket what it is. We are the reason why the cricketers get paid so much. We are the reason why boards get paid so much. And we are the reason why cricket keeps growing and flourishing, say from the 90s till now. So in this video, I'm going to go through the problems I see as a fan. I'm going to go through a few numbers and then discuss a few solutions that as a fan, I would like to see. So firstly, the problem. It's pretty simple, it's pretty straightforward. It's for everyone out there to see that there is too much cricket. For example, India recently finished a completely meaningless series against New Zealand on the 1st of Feb. And there's a very, very important series starting on the 9th of Feb against Australia, the Gavaskar Trophy. Now this series is specifically really important this time because of what happened last time in Australia where Rishabh Pant and India played so well to win the Gavaskar Trophy. Now to add fuel to fire, a couple of India's key players, Shubman Gill and Suryakumar Yadav, played the last T20 game on the 1st of Feb. From there, after a grueling T20 series, they've got to pack up their bags, travel to the Indian camp, and then start practicing for the test series ahead. If you think about even traveling as a normal person, just let's say I traveled from say Nagpur to Hyderabad or someplace, I get tired. Imagine a professional athlete. Now, it's not for me to say what a professional athlete needs to do because I'm not one and I probably don't understand the recovery process of an athlete. But this is just again a fan's perspective because when I see an important series, I want to see the best players in India and Australia be completely fit, and I want to see them have a go at each other. The second part of the problem I feel is quality. Pick any side from the 2000s. There was a good player in literally every single side around the world. Look at Sri Lanka today, look at West Indies today. They don't really have those marquee players, say like Brian Lara or Sangakkara or Chandrapal or Kotli Ambrose, Chaminda Vas, Muralidharan, the list goes on. You could pick any other side around the world, let's say South Africa, and go back to the 2000s and look at their side. They had John T. Rhodes, they had Herschel Gibbs, they had Pollock, they had Donald, they had Mackay and Tini, and look at the South African side today. And let's not even get started on Australia. The same goes for Pakistan. Wasim, Waqar, Shoaib, Shakleen, Inzamam Ulaq, Saeed Anwar. The list just goes on and on and on. What I feel today is that the quality of cricket has surely dropped. Now saying that, credit must be given when it's due. The game today is a lot faster. There's a lot more acrobatics on the field because of the fitness levels of the players. And key players, at least from the big teams, say India, England, Australia, are supremely fit, and it's really fun to watch them have a go at each other. Also, what if I ask you what happened last year in cricket? Do you remember the centuries? Do you remember the series scoreline? Or when was the last time, let's not talk about the World Cup games, but when was the last time you were really excited about a particular match? The fact is, because there are so many changes amongst the players, a few players play a particular series, the next series is something else, there are different teams, we lack connect to the players. I remember back in the 90s and the early 2000s, trains used to stop when Sachin was on 90 or 95 runs. That doesn't happen today, and I truly believe that Virat Kohli is actually the last superstar of Indian cricket, maybe Shubman Gill, but I don't see that kind of fan following, that kind of emotion what say Sachin, Ganguly, Dravid, Lakshman, these guys had with the current lot. And this is not a criticism of the current lot of players. They are exceptionally good, and it's just the way cricket is portrayed, the way cricket is broadcasted today. There's just too much of it on your screen. It's become entertainment, and the thing with entertainment is when you see the same thing over and over again, the value of it just keeps diminishing, and that's what's happening with cricket. Now, emotions like these are just not confined to India. These emotions are felt worldwide, and here's something I read on the ABC Australia's website. Gone are the days when cricket owned Australian summers, and gone are the days when the men's cricket team captain ranked only second to the Prime Minister. Now, how does cricket in India compare to, say, Formula One or, say, football? Formula One has seen an 87% rise in viewership in India. Now, it's unfair to compare that with cricket because the sample size at the start is a lot lesser. Because let's say 100 people are watching Formula One, it's easy to have 100% rise and get 200 people to watch it. But cricket, you can't expect that because at least 500, 600 million people in India are watching cricket. You can't double that. But also point a finger at me and say, you know what, even though what you're saying might be true, why are advertisers in India specifically paying a lot more for the rights for Indian cricket and the IPL? Now, recently, as we all know, the IPL rights sold for 48,000 crore. It's some 9 billion or $10 billion or something. But the reason for that, I feel, is that the broadcasters understand that in the next 5 to 6 to 10 years time, internet speeds and internet connections in India are going to grow a lot more. That means internet is going to reach even small villages in India. And what that means is that they're going to get more viewership because people are going to start watching the IPL on their phones, not necessarily on televisions, but on their phones. And what has pushed up the IPL rights a lot is money from Disney Hotstar and Viacom India. When the emotion is constantly declining, yes, the money might go up, but there is a point where the advertisers will say, you know what, cricket isn't worth that much and we don't want to pay, say, more than 48,000 crores next time the rights go up for auction. It would be pretty hypocritical of me to sit here and just whinge about cricket without giving you a solution as to what a fan like me wants to see in cricket. I have a few solutions, a few suggestions, I must say, not even solutions. The first one is that I feel politics and cricket should just not mix. I feel there are people who can manage a lot better than politicians, and by no means I'm criticizing the current government because this has been happening in Indian cricket for a very long time. I don't know who should manage the BCCI, and I talk about the BCCI here because they are the most powerful governing body in cricket and they influence cricket tremendously around the world. And I feel that one thing needs to change, and the focus needs to be to bring back emotion to the game rather than trying and increasing the value of the television rights in India. The second solution is twofold. You can either have a football style league tournaments around the world through the year, and every couple of years have a World Cup. You could alternate between, once have a T20 World Cup, then have a one-day World Cup, and have different test series in between when the leagues are being played. This would generate humongous interest amongst fans because they don't see India play, they don't see West Indies, South Africa, Australia play. They just see leagues and suddenly they see their favorite players come together and play for their country. If not, the second suggestion I would say would be to add more meaning to a series. If you go back to the 90s or 2005, 2010, around that period, we had so many more tri-series around. And that was so much more interesting than just a meaningless bilateral series, say India West Indies or India Sri Lanka, India New Zealand. That would bring back the attention of a fan, that would bring back the emotion, you can say, of what a general fan feels, because then they're looking forward to seeing what happens in a tri-series, because you're playing different teams every alternate day. I also feel that one-day cricket has passed its due date. It's in between T20 and Test cricket. Test cricket is something that no one wants to lose, and T20 cricket is where the future lies. So I feel one-day cricket should be scrapped or just left to a World Cup event rather than having different bilateral series in one-day cricket. If you just go by the recent matches that were really exciting, India-Pakistan in Melbourne, India-Pakistan in Dubai 2021, there was just tremendous hype around it. I know there's a lot of political issues around it, but I feel India-Pakistan need to start playing in neutral venues a lot more. And I would be very interested in seeing, say, India-Pakistan-Australia T20 tri-series here in Australia, or a India-Pakistan-New Zealand T20 series in New Zealand. You could do the same in England in the English summer. Once the Test series is over, have India, England and Pakistan play a tri-series T20 format. And that would bring in, again, a lot of excitement amongst a fan like myself, who has over the years lost interest in the whole concept of watching your country play. Because what's happening, again, in my opinion, is that it's just coming down to entertainment. And as I mentioned before, after you keep watching a certain thing over and over again, the appreciation for it always declines. I also feel, because Indian television rights are so massive, it would be unfair of me to say, no, scrap the whatever, 20, 30, 40,000 crore rupees that you're getting from the advertisers and just focus on, leagues and, Test cricket and all that. Whenever there's a big series in India, let's say India-Australia bought a Gavaskar trophy, it should again be followed with a T20 style tri-series, India-Australia, let's say a smaller team like West Indies or Sri Lanka or Bangladesh. And the reason I say that is because when these teams play a big team like India and Australia, they earn a lot of money and they can use that money to improve cricket in their country. And hence it's really important for India, Australia and England to support the West Indies, Sri Lanka, Pakistan and all the other smaller teams around the world. Anyways, hope you like this video. If you have any further suggestions, you could surely drop that in the comment section. I'm really grateful for your time. Thank you so much for watching. See you in the next video.